Hello guys, hopefully you had a good weekend. I'm gonna do some analysis right now on the market. I know it's kind of late, so you'll probably see this tomorrow. Let me just share this um the Discord really quick. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the SPY here. You could see that the SPY weekly we have an inside bar. Okay, what's an inside bar? Basically a candle that closes inside the previous candle. We have basically an indecision. Let me see if I can clear this up. We basically have an indecision candle here. I wouldn't say doji. We do have green volume, but look at the momentum on the weekly, still going down. So we'll see which way we break, to the upside, to the downside of this inside weekly candle. Something that I don't know if I mentioned last week is that we do have a trend here to the downside, and that right there kind of puts us in the same area, this fib right here, so around 320. So something to keep an eye on. If we do start making new lows on the SPY, 320 will be an area where it could potentially bounce. You could see here, back in was it last June? Yeah, there was some resistance, and then it became support, and then we just went off from there. So I think this is Corona. Yeah, the Corona dump here weekly. So there's a big area here on the weekly, so something to keep on watch for the next few weeks, or for even this week. There's rumors of wars and stuff going on, potentially people talking about nuclear bombs. Just getting a little bit crazy now, but keep that on watch. We go to daily here. Yeah, so you could see we had this was a day here with doji, green volume, then we followed through. This is exactly what I was talking about on the weekly that we're looking for, and we got it. Okay, remember I had mentioned in the previous videos, I'm looking for a doji with green volume, and then boom, we shot up. That was a beautiful, nice little run there for 2-3 days, and then we just kind of fell apart. Looks like this day, this flat bottom, red volume, we ran out of gas and just came back down. And so this was basically the whole week, and that's why we have an inside bar there on the weekly. And so here's that trend also that I'm looking at on the weekly. You can see it puts us around 320 area, so just something to keep on watch. If this level breaks, definitely have room to come down here on SPY. We'll go to the hourly here. Yeah, so the hourly, we could see this big dump on Friday. There's the dumpster fire after we broke this wedge right here. So we'll see if we get a little bounce back and then continue down, or we just kind of consolidate it and build a bear flag here in the morning pre-market. Maybe we'll build like a bear flag and then boom, come down to around that 355. That would be potentially the first target, 355. We can't stay above that, then potentially more to the downside. So that's what we're going to be watching tomorrow on the SPY. Let's go ahead and go to the Qs. What happened? Same thing for the Qs, looks pretty similar. Now on the Qs though, on the weekly, we have support a little bit closer around that 360 here. I mean 260, I'm sorry. So didn't keep that on watch. We did close with green volume on the weekly. We go to the daily. We do have that trend right here. Look at this. Around near that 220, 200. Just depends when we get there, right? Because this line continues down. So the longer it takes to get there, the further it can go down. So maybe around 200. Something to keep on watch. If we go to the hourly, same thing. Dumpster fire on Friday. We'll see if we build a bear flag pre-market and then just dump to around 264. That would be first target. If we build the bear flag and come down. So something to watch. All right, next Tesla. Start with the weekly. Now Tesla, right, there's a lot of support here. You can see this has been holding up really well, but if this breaks, we're gonna definitely come into that 200 EMA on the weekly. You can see momentum coming down. Look at the volume on the weekly. Okay, so definitely there's a lot of downside pressure there. If we go to the daily, you can see the trend here on the daily. Puts us about 167, even 160, just depending what day we get there. So momentum, you know, to the downside. Look at the last week Tesla was red. Look at that, no green days, just a lot of bear momentum there to the downside on Tesla. So watching these levels to see if we get a potential bounce right here, this area. That's why I have an alert there. If we begin to break, definitely try and come and test this line here. If we go up the hourly, we hit that trend, you know, that we had on Friday. If you saw Friday's alert, we hit all targets. Let me see where I have them. The technical, yeah. And so if we go here in the 15-minute, this is the alert that I gave, right? This is what we were looking at before pre-market. You can see we busted through and just boom, just hit every alert. We even passed the alerts. So definitely Tesla was really good on Friday for puts. Just the whole market just down, but Tesla had a real nice setup. We saw the setting up right here. Really nice. All right, so let's go ahead and take that back. NVDA. Okay, NVIDIA, this is a level that I'm watching. You can see I have an alert here because this is an area where we had, you know, previous resistance became support, and then we rallied up to all-time highs. And now we're going to come and test it again. Now, something to watch here is that all this charts are showing this potential head and shoulders. You know, some people are seeing head and shoulders here. You know, it's a little iffy. The shoulder, the head, and potentially a shoulder. But then what is this, right? Would that be part of the head? I don't know. And so, just something to watch, you know, for this head and shoulders. You know, we have room to, this doesn't hold, man. 45, 50, 45 on NVIDIA. That brings us to about 2020 levels. Yeah, that's insane. And so NVIDIA, I'm gonna add some here to long term. This is not day trade or swing trade. This is long term. And if it doesn't hold, then I'll just add again to 50s. But this is long term for NVIDIA for me. But then again, day trades, we'll be looking at the daily, the hourly, and potentially get the day trade here. Here we go. This is the trend that I've put out on the last video. Right here, we're almost there. Let's zoom in. So potentially, this is where we can come before we get a bounce to the upside. So that could be a nice, you know, trade there for short term. So keep that on watch. We go to the hourly. That's about there at the 115, 116. So that's a place to watch there for a bounce, for potential, even if you want to swing. If that's holding, we can even swing some for the following day. That's a nice level to watch there, that trend. I don't know if you could see it clearly, but you see right here, right there, right? So I have an alert there. I want to know when it's getting there. Also, its previous, how far does this go back? 115. Yeah. So if you go to the weekly, you have that big level right here too, right? On NVIDIA from back in 2020, 2021, big area of support. If we go to the hourly, you can see how close we're getting to that. Okay. So it's a big area of support. Definitely, you know, get a bounce there. So something to watch on NVIDIA. We go to AMD weekly. Okay, this is a chart that I gave the previous video. Again, kind of the same thing. You know, this is an area of, we go back to 2020, 21. There's a big area of, you know, resistance, right? So become support now. And we're coming very, very close to it. Well, we might have actually hit it here on Friday. All right. But it can kind of, sometimes you'll have the wick come down a little bit more, right? And then we'll bounce right off of it. Oh shoot, I took off the level. Okay, so something to watch there. We go to the daily. Yeah, we're pretty close, but look at that. We have the daily, and then we have the daily over here. I mean, that's the weekly support. This is the daily support. So somewhere in this range, we could definitely find a, somewhere in this range, we could definitely find a bounce. What happened here? Okay. And now we zoom in even a little bit more to the 1 hour. Okay. So somewhere between 55 to 50. See where we can find an area of support and bring it back up. And even though you see the hourly candles coming down on the weekly, okay, it'll just be like another candle with the wick down, right? It looks something like this, but down here. So as long as the candle still stays above this support, I still consider holding the support. See, like kind of like right here, right? This is a 200 EMA, passed it a little bit more. If you look at this in the 1 hour, you'll be able to see that the candles were closing above the 200 on the weekly, but the main candle, the weekly candle, was not closing above the 200. It's kind of the same thing here, right? You might see a wick down, but it's just going to be the big old candle, and then you're going to see it come back up. So something to watch. What else do we have? Amazon. There on the weekly. There's an area of support here. This is an area that I'm watching. I grabbed some Amazon in here for long term, and it was looking really nice up here. Okay, and now we're coming back to this level. So have a real nice average on Amazon. I won't add unless we go below this levels to, you know, look at this. Oh, I think this is Corona right here, 81.30. So that would be a potential area where I would be interested in it again. Go to the daily. Yeah, so intraday, you know, this could potentially get some swings, you know, calls here if we get to this level. Just kind of analyze it, do some technicals when we're at that level and see if, look at the volume and everything, see if we can potentially get a call for a good probability of a bounce. We have this nice trend here on the hourly. Yeah, around 111. So tomorrow again, we do some type of flag, and we end up breaking down. We already know targets are going to be around 111. So something to watch here, this trend on the hourly on Amazon. So pre-market, we do something like this, right? Stock comes down, you know, up, and then pre-market we break, boom. You already know. I'm gonna have those levels set, those targets, kind of like what we did with Tesla, right, on Friday. And so if you're not in the Discord, this is what I do. Right. This was pre-market. I drew it out for you guys, and I said at the break of this, you know, these are targets, 1, 2, 3, 4. So hit all targets. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at tomorrow to the pre-market. See how it's setting up. Look like a flag right here, and then boom to the downside. So tomorrow pre-market, I'll look at that, and we'll give the targets and we'll execute. All right, Apple weekly on Apple. This is the level that we can potentially hit, 130. That's where we bounced. We went all the way to 175. What a run right here in Apple. Pretty. And look at here on the weekly, we rejected this uptrend. But you see, this is what I was talking about. We hit that uptrend, even though the wick, right, we wicked on top of it, it's still rejected. And so that's why it's important that, you know, when you're looking at the hourly, you'll see that we're above this uptrend, but in the weekly, we're still not above, right? We're rejecting. And so it is important that when you hit your target on the hourly, that you don't get confused and say, oh, we're on top of the trend now, I'm bullish, and then this ends up happening to you, right? If we look at this trend on the hourly, we're probably above it, but we just came back underneath it. So it's important that you look at the big picture, right, and take your profits looking at the big picture. And now we're coming back to potentially here, either double bottom, right? So we're gonna look at two things here. Either we bounce up or we come and hit this 200 EMA. So I have an alert here. we start breaking below, I'll have another alert here to potentially add to Apple. So we go to the daily. Just like everything else, you know, Apple has momentum to the downside here. Go to the top. 1 hour. Again, tomorrow we'll be looking for some type of flag formation, you know, and seeing where it's gonna go. So pre-market's gonna tell us a lot. Let me see, did I cover everything? Was Apple the last one? Oh, Microsoft. Microsoft is another one we trade. Let's start with the weekly. Okay, here we go. You could see the past 4 weeks for Microsoft have just been horribly, you know, to the downside, momentum to the downside. I'm expecting Apple to come and hit this 200 to 225, where we could potentially see a bounce, and if not, touch this trend right here. That's also where the fib is, right there. We go to the daily. You can see that trend on the downside within this channel. So somewhere here, or should I say between here, is where I'm expecting Microsoft to, you know, bounce. Yeah, definitely this would be an area of, by the time, remember this is the daily, so by the time, if this were to come down, this would probably be near the, maybe the 200s. Remember, because this trend keeps coming down while the stock is, you know, moving slowly down. You know, this will be days and probably 2 weeks. So something to keep on watch on Microsoft, right? And if you were to swing this again, you know, we have room to run. 240 passes 240, you know, that top trend right there. So something to keep on watch there. Microsoft again tomorrow. We have this trend on the hourly, so 230 would be first target. If we get some sort of maybe pre-market, you know, we come here, we already have this trend here, and we reject, and we come and hit that 230, right? And so something to keep on watch. All right, that's pretty much it. Those are the stocks that I am. Something to keep on watch too tomorrow is RTX. So RTX is a company that provides systems and services for the commercial, military, and government customers worldwide. And so, you know, missiles and defense, with all this talk going on about nukes, the nuclear talk and everything going on, you know, it's just the tensions getting tighter and tighter. Keep this one on watch. RTX. We go to the hourly. Mm, 85, 87, just depends, you know, what's going on around with the war stuff. So just something to keep maybe in your back burner. Just, you know, RTX. Just throwing it out there. But that's basically it, guys. Let's kill it tomorrow. Let's have a great week. This past week was awesome. The previous week was awesome too. Where the market goes up and down, we'll make money. We'll look at the setups intraday. We'll play calls. We'll play puts, and just be ready. Whatever comes. Pre-market, again, I'll set up the charts for you guys, the members on Discord. I'll set up the targets, the entries, the exits. I'll also, if I see intraday setups as well, I'll actually post the option alerts with the calls and the actual put that I'll be taking, and at the price that I'm taking, so you guys can follow along as well. So that's pretty much it. Let's get up early tomorrow. Let's look at the news. Let's see what's going on. Let's look at the setups, and then be ready to execute. All right, guys. Have a good night. I'll see you guys mañana. Have a good rest, and let's be ready to kill it tomorrow. Bye bye. Adios.